guys, welcome back to another video. I have lots to talk about today, from Game Pass news to potentially some more tiers coming to a major acquisition, plus many other things. Before we do jump into it, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps spread the channel around and the video around if you did enjoy the video. And also check out my Spotify if you do like the audio versions of this shows. But we will start off here talking about some more leaks for Xbox Game Pass, as well as a major first-person shooter launch that is getting the official release here on console. Now, this is all information that is seemingly leaked. It hasn't been 100% confirmed, but we have been hearing for a while that Modern Warfare 3 is going to be dropping into Xbox Game Pass. We've been hearing that there is going to be some more games coming to the service before the end of this month, and the other game that was potentially going to be coming over was Dave the Diver. Haven't really heard too much more about that recently, but Modern Warfare 3, the release date on Game Pass is seemingly leaked, and that date is going to be July 24th. And this isn't surprising. I kind of said this was going to be happening last week in my video talking about this, just because it coincides with the release of Season 5 of MW3, with those interesting new game modes coming in, specifically the wrestling game modes with the WWE superstars in there, where you actually have to do WWE finishing moves to score points in that game mode. It actually looks pretty interesting, but it's funny, all of that mix that Call of Duty has when they do release their new seasons. And then the other thing here that seemingly has been leaked is the console release, the official release of Valorant on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S. That is seemingly going to be hitting on July 26th. And this is a very fun, good first-person shooter. I did play a decent amount of it back on PC, and I did check out the beta on console. I think it plays and feels very good on console. I will probably end up playing some more of this when this official release does come out. So those are two major games dropping on to the Xbox ecosystem, and then Valorant as well on PlayStation 5, and then MW3 into Xbox Game Pass, which will just bring a whole new crowd of people who haven't played the game yet, didn't want to go and pay full price for it, or didn't buy it when it launched, to now jump in and make that community even larger than it is. And launching on the day of a new season is a very smart move, because there will be so much content that's already there, and then new content got people excited to jump in and play. Now, this has all been according to Xputer and Ecstasies, who they say has a strong record of revealing upcoming Game Pass titles ahead of their official confirmation. And Riot did announce that they were planning on releasing Valorant on console this year. So the beta wrapped up. They probably have all the data and details that they wanted and needed to go ahead and officially launch the full version of the game on the console. So exciting time here. More games coming over to Game Pass, more games coming over to console that weren't on that platform previously. Now, as we know, Xbox Game Pass has changed their Game Pass tiers. They've added Xbox Game Pass Standard. They've gotten rid of Xbox Game Pass for console. They've also raised the prices for Ultimate. But one of the most intriguing things I was thinking that would happen, but one of the weirdest things that I always thought was missing from Xbox Game Pass, especially after the recent changes and putting Game Pass on the Fire Stick, has been the cloud gaming tier. Just paying for cloud gaming, that's all, not getting access to being able to download those games. I feel like that has to be something that Xbox is thinking about and that they will eventually release, if they are going to be trying to push Game Pass to multiple different devices that are only for streaming. And I would say that's probably for the more casual crowd out there that doesn't care about the highest fidelity, doesn't care about pixel counting. They have good internet connection. They just want to jump in and play on devices that they already have. And it looks like this may be something that is in the works. As this says here, Microsoft's changes to its Xbox Game Pass tiers could be continuing, according to a new report. Sources at Windows Central say that Microsoft is looking into adding more tiers to Xbox Game Pass, including ad-based and cloud-only options. They say, first, regarding the cloud-only tier, this would reportedly be a cheaper tier where you wouldn't need to own an Xbox console. You would just need a platform that can access cloud-based games on Xbox Game Pass. And the question will be, how much is this tier? $10 a month? I'm thinking probably around that. It would make sense there. Just under the PC Game Pass amount, but still a cheaper option where you get everything. And will there be all the day one stuff included in that tier as well? That would be another question that probably people are asking when thinking about new tiers coming over to Xbox Game Pass. Specifically, it's quoted here saying this would be designed around users who simply aren't interested in buying an Xbox console, which could include competing console platform players. It could also be for users who don't like the upfront cost of owning any console whatsoever. And to me, if you don't want to own a good piece of hardware to play video games on, you are probably more in that casual crowd. You don't really care about all of the highest end stuff. You're not following all the latest releases and all that stuff. So maybe it's a tier with cloud that does not include the day one releases. Maybe that could be something that they do, and maybe even make it like $7 or something just to get people to jump into the ecosystem. Now, the ad-based tier is something we've also been hearing a lot about, and I think there's kind of a difference of opinions on this. For me personally, depending on the price of it, if the price is right, I'm okay with an ad. I'm okay with an ad playing as I launch a game or before I jump into a game if the price is right. If they don't add ads into like a $20 tier, if they make it cheap, but you just have to watch an ad before you play a game, I would consider that. I don't think that is a terrible idea to give people just more options. They say, as far as the ad-based tier is concerned, the report states that Microsoft has been exploring the potential of one. However, there are no plans to launch an ad-based tier at this moment. So we will see if that happens, what the price would be. The biggest thing that I am still waiting for is the family plan. Like, where is the family plan? In fact, it does say here, lastly, the report mentions a possibility of a return of the family and friends plan for the service. Originally, Microsoft tested the idea back in 2022 and 2023 in various regions. We remember talking about that and how they were charging $25 per month for up to 5 people to access that single subscription. I don't see that coming this way. I don't see $25 a month at all being realistic, unless it is for the lower tier of Game Pass, but I do not see $25 a month for 5 Game Pass subscriptions being for the Ultimate service. So I wonder if they're rethinking all that, rethinking the prices, or if they're just completely scrapping the family plan. I thought the family plan would have been a no-brainer, but now with the raises in prices, it's something that it may not be as big of a no-brainer as previously was expected. Now, we do have a new special edition controller apparently launching this month for Xbox. I mean, Xbox loves their controllers. We've seen the Wolverine and Deadpool one with the big butts on the back of it. Those ones you can't buy, but you can win them, I believe, in a contest. But it looks like there will be an actual official one that you can buy that will be coming soon. And this is via the reliable data miner Bill Kun, saying that they are expecting to release an Xbox wireless controller Sky Cypher Special Edition in August. And they do say here, writing on Dead Labs, they claim it's a blue controller with transparent finish that reveals some of the internal components located on the front side, similar to the Forza Horizon 5 controller. I do like transparent controllers. I've always thought those are pretty cool when you can actually see the stuff inside the controller. So there it is. If you like the controllers, if you're somebody who likes to collect all those Xbox controllers, looks like a new one is on the way. Now, we did have a pretty big acquisition here for a game that a lot of people have enjoyed, and they relaunched it, and I think it is doing decently well, and that is Multiverses. The studio Player First Games has now officially been acquired by Warner Brothers, and it makes sense because they are using all of those characters. But it says, following the acquisition, the Los Angeles-based studio will continue to be run by co-founders Tony Wynn and Chris White, and Player First Games head and Multiverses director Wynn and head of technology White will report to Carlos Barbosa, vice president and studio head of Warner Brothers Games San Diego. And here is what they say: we have worked with Player First Games over several years to create and launch Multiverses, and we are very pleased to welcome this talented team to Warner Brothers Games, and that the bright and creative team at Player First Games adds to our extensive development capabilities. And they say our team is excited to join the Warner Brothers Games family, and we feel that this will be great for Multiverses overall. We are working to make Multiverses game experience the best it can be, and having our development team integrated with the publisher is optimum for the player. Season 2 of this game does launch today on July 23rd. And that brings with you Samurai Jack to the game itself. I played this when it first launched, and like way back, and I thought it was actually really fun. I thought the gameplay was tight and everything, and I could see this game getting pretty big. And now they obviously have those major resources with that acquisition added to the development of this game, probably on a consistent basis. And they're probably looking at this in Warner Brothers and thinking this is a cash in for games as a service, just constant revenue flow of people spending microtransactions on it because it is a free to play game. Now, when it comes to Gamescom opening night live, the prices for actually showing your game are sounding pretty crazy. We heard about some of those crazy prices for the Summer Games Fest that was being charged, and it looks like it's no different here for Gamescom opening night live. They say here, as spotted by TechRaptor, it costs up to $288,000 to secure a spot on the main show. That is the max price, and it comes with a 120-second spot on the broadcast. And then if you want a little bit cheaper, it looks like it's cost 234 seconds for 90, or $234,000 for 90 seconds, $179,000 for 60 seconds, and then $125,000 for 30 seconds. And I mean, you're going to only have, I think, the big publishers paying this amount of money. I just don't know how worth it is to pay that amount to be featured on the show when you can literally just hit stream or hit go live on a YouTube channel and you'll get tons of viewers that way. So it's an interesting thing here, an interesting prospect that they look at and they think, well, do we want to spend $288,000 and just to show our game for 120 seconds in front of a crowd that sometimes would be smaller than if you were just to do your own show? I guess it depends on the developer and the publisher, but it seems like a hefty price. Again, if you're a big AAA publisher, it's probably just a drop in the bucket. But at the end of the day, we'll see who is going to be paying for all this. We know Nintendo has now dropped out of Gamescom. They saw these prices, probably like, well, no, we don't want to be there. We don't need Gamescom at all to promote our stuff. So it'll be interesting to see which major publishers here take up these spots at Gamescom opening night live. Now, one company here that has been under fire recently, or they're always under fire, it seems like, for various different reasons. We're seeing the whole controversy with Assassin's Creed Shadows. We've seen people push back here as well against Star Wars Outlaws, but it looks like this is a game that Ubisoft is betting big on. They say that Ubisoft has put more money into the marketing of Star Wars Outlaws than any other game. And this is during the recent earnings call. Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, says, what we are factoring in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws. That's the fact that is among the most awaited games of the industry this year, and reflecting a really strong positive community sentiment, and also the fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for a Ubisoft game. So we'll see how this game does. I think this game is going to sell and do very well. I know there's a lot of people who've seen the recent gameplay and they say it looks like trash, and it isn't the most polished game for sure. The gameplay looked pretty fun, but it is a Star Wars game. It has that IP notoriety. They are going to sell a lot of copies on it just based on that. And I am a fan of Ubisoft open world games. I find them fun. I find the checklist stuff that they put out there fun. I mean, I love the Assassin's Creed games. I like Far Cry. I'm sure I will enjoy this at least to some extent, unless the gameplay is just extremely boring, at least in the main missions. If it's boring there, then there will be an issue. But it's also the Star Wars universe. And there's also the whole controversy that people were trying to make here with the main character and the way she looked and all of that stuff. So we'll see how this game does. I think it's going to do good, even with a lot of pushback recently. Finally, GTA's publisher has spoken up about review bombing. We're seeing a lot of review bombing these days. Whenever there is a group of people who gather, who have a certain ideology and dislike a game, they will go out there and they will review bomb the heck out of the game. And this could be because of the characters in the game, the story. This could be because they don't like the publisher. It could be because the game is just simply broken at launch and everything, which, I mean, the game deserves to be review bombed if that is the case, if they release a shitty product. But these campaigns have actually apparently been having effects across the industry, across games, and it seems like it is being mentioned here and recognized by Rockstar. It says here, in the recent 10K annual filing, the leadership team at Take-Two Interactive highlighted review bombing as a very, very real threat, opting to be a little more professional and brand the practice as defamation campaigns. And this is what they say. Furthermore, obtaining and maintaining high ratings of our games on the third-party platforms on which we operate are important, as they help drive players to find our games. If the ratings of any of our games decline, or if we receive significant negative reviews that result in a decrease in our ratings, our games could be more difficult for players to find or recommend. In addition, we may be subject to negative review campaigns or defamation campaigns intended to harm our ratings. Any such decline may lead to loss of players and revenues, additional advertising and marketing costs, and reputation harm. Now, they come out, they completely recognize this, and this was a recent SEC filing they say was shared by Game Files' Stephen Totillo, where they talked about it, and they come out, they completely recognize that review bombing actually does have an effect on these games. And I don't know how this is going to help them in any way, because now that this is out publicly, they're out here saying, yeah, I mean, if you guys gather together, you don't like our game, and you bring down the overall score of it, whether it's justified or not, it will affect the amount of money we make. I feel like you're going to see the mobs who have issues with a game do it even more, that they know that they are making effect. And I'm not trying to say that it's always for no reason. There are definitely times where games absolutely deserve negative reviews and deserve for their scores to be brought down, especially when you see issues of like reviewers not given enough information, or information from the publisher being withheld to reviewers, and then they only release that stuff after the game has released, after it has achieved a high score. That's when there is a major issue here, and the review being negatives and people going out there and changing the reviews or voicing their displeasure absolutely is warranted. But then there's other things where you get politics and stuff, and people just go out there and try to band together to bring it down because of a certain way that they think, and that they think the game should have been made, even if the game is actually good. So there's two different ways here. I don't think it's always just a defamation campaign, as they do like to put it. But at the same time, now people know that it works. You're probably going to see it potentially ramped up even harder for certain groups out there that want to bring down an overall game. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.